I'm here, you are on the pen. That's why you're here. Wegovy, Saxenda, Victoza, Trulicity, MOUNJARO, and Zepbound. And those last two are the ones that we're concerning ourselves with on this video. I hope you're doing well. Welcome into the live if you're just joining here. I am so thankful that you're here to get this update here. So let's jump right into it. Today, the FDA updated their shortage for Zepbound and MOUNJARO. And essentially what we're looking at is shortages. Hey, Sabrina, welcome into the live stream today. We're looking at shortages that have been extended to the end of July. Now, this is not really a shock. So we had shortages ending in June, right, through the second quarter. We knew, based upon what was going on the ground, that we would probably see these shortages extended. So what is the whole rundown? Let me know in the chat what doses you're having issues finding, because I think that this is, we'll get into it a little bit, but I think the shortage list for the FDA on Tirzepatide is getting even more squirrely by the day. So basically with the update, you saw that the 10 milligram and the 15 milligram for both Zepbound and MOUNJARO have been extended through the end of July. So that was not super unforeseen. What I think is interesting is what we're hearing on the ground from many people, as Lynn says that she can't find her 7.5. What we're seeing on the ground is that more and more, the FDA shortage list does not true up with what we're hearing on the ground. Of course, Zachariah Ratano, the CEO of Ro, was on the pen live just a couple of weeks ago, letting us know that the 5 milligram dose of Zepbound was 25% of all the reports on the shortage list. And I think that continues to be an issue. Diana with the 7.5, Gino with the 15 milligram. Terrence, welcome in. How are you? Josh, welcome. Thanks for joining. So what, as you're coming in, hit that like, hit that bell, hit that sub, make sure you get notifications for everything. We're talking about the shortages, the 10 milligram and the 15 milligram extended to the end of July. Now, let me talk about what I think might be happening here. Did you know that with the FDA shortage list, that essentially the FDA relies on reporting from the drug manufacturers, so self-reporting. And the interesting thing is when you talk about compound versions of GLP-1s, or I like to refer to them as generic, because compounds, when you combine multiple things to make something new, whereas 503B pharmacies have a mandate from a law passed in 2013 to actually make drugs that are in shortage. That's why the 503B pharmacies exist, so that they can mass produce medications that are on FDA shortage. And, you know, going back 10, 15 years ago, basically what we saw was that there would be around 10 to 12 medications on the FDA shortage list at any given time. Now, today, there are over 400. So we have a handful of 503B pharmacies in the country that can mass produce medications in scale only when the medications are on the FDA shortage list. So there's sort of a conflict of interest here, because obviously the drug manufacturers do not want to see compounded or generic versions of their medications on the market until they lose their patent. Welcome, Sue. Welcome, Sabrina. Welcome, Terry and Kay. Josh, thank you for being in here. They don't want that, but at the same time, they have to self-report the shortage to the FDA. So that's where I feel like Z Ritano and his tracker tool at Ro is a really impactful thing, because every time you fill out that you couldn't find your medication, that's an alert to the FDA that has to, you know, help true up the information that they're getting from Eli Lilly. But let me just kind of speculate on what I think is going on here. Last week, we saw a huge move by Eli Lilly with cease and desist letters to the manufacturers of the API and some of the research grade versions of these medications that are floating around. I don't even call them medications at that point, because they're just research chemicals, right? Not prescribed, very gray market. But I believe that the source for the pharmaceutical ingredients going into those research companies are some of the very same suppliers that are actually supplying the 503A pharmacies, and in some case 503B pharmacies, with their medications. So they're choking off that supply of API, right? At the same time, you see an FDA update where I'm not buying that the only doses that are hard to find right now are the 10 and the 15. Again, drop in the chat or the comments of this video what medication dose you're on and which one you're having a hard time finding, because I really believe that at this point, that we're seeing some really inaccurate self-reporting on the part of Eli Lilly, and I think it has to do with the compounds. So just wanted to jump on, give you the update. The 10 and the 15 milligram of Tirzepatide, both Mounjaro and Zepbound, extended in shortage to the end of July. I want to hear from you what you're experiencing, because your experience on the ground is what matters here. And we've come to know that the FDA list that we get each month really does not track very well with what's going on the ground. So thank you for being here. Thank you for being the best part of what I do. Sabrina says she's on the 15 but the 12.5 this month because of the shortage, and the same thing happened to me. I couldn't get the 15. I'm on the 12.5. The yo-yoing of doses has got to stop. We need to continue to hashtag release the vials drop, hashtag release the vials. Make sure you join over at onthepen.com. Join the discussion over there. Sign up for email alerts. Would love to have you there. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being the best part of what we do. Make sure you hit that like button before you go and send this to somebody else who might find it interesting as well. Until next time, thank you for being here, and we will catch you on the next one.